Happy Wednesday! Welcome to the Prop Queen Pod. Sorry I'm a little late. I had to work on a bunch of things. But we are so locked, loaded, and ready to go. I've got a ton of NBA props for tonight's two games. I was actually super pissed off yesterday because I wanted to give the newsletter a lot of love. And guess who wouldn't let me do that? The freaking Knicks. The Knicks yesterday would not announce that Karl-Anthony Towns was going to play. Oh no, I have my makeup smeared. That's not good. Karl-Anthony Towns was literally not announced until 7:57 last night. So I wasn't able to really handicap that game. I did give out one winner yesterday. The best bet ended up cashing yesterday for Tristan Da Silva, who went over his prop. I've got a bunch for later in Prop Queen Edges of the Day and Royal Locks. I also have a prize picks lineup that is going to pay out $1,500 if it hits tonight. So hopefully we get that. Coach James Young, we have missed him. He has not been on the show in a while. So Coach Young going to join the show at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to talk NBA props. We've got some college hoops action as well. Very excited to talk to Coach. But today, the big story. I'm so excited that we could talk baseball. It's been a while. There's been a lot going on in the Major League Baseball world, and most notably today, the Mets. They have now lost their closer, Edwin Diaz, and they have lost their first baseman, Pete Alonso. Orioles finally make a splash. The Orioles end up picking up Pete Alonso, 3-year deal. I'm really pumped about it. You guys know that I have Baltimore ties. I know I'm a Yankees fan. But I'm really excited for the Orioles fan base. They deserve this. That Orioles team last year, I put my money where my mouth was, and it sucked. I loved the Orioles last year. I thought the Orioles were a World Series contender. And don't be surprised if they're like the Toronto Blue Jays of last year. The Toronto Blue Jays, 2 years ago, like not this past season, the season before, I had the Toronto Blue Jays to win the World Series and the American League the year before they did it, which was this year of winning the American League. And I think the Orioles could be on the same pace as long as they add an ace. I don't know why these teams, why do the Mets hate aces? Why do the Orioles hate aces? I know that the Orioles made the splash and they went out and they got Corbin Burns. I was going to say Zach Allen, but I knew that was wrong. Corbin Burns, they got a couple years ago. Then they decide to let Corbin Burns go. And guess what? The team doesn't make the playoffs. So I'm really excited for the O's if they're making a splash like this with Alonso. They have to know that their time is now. They have such a young, fun club. They just need pitching. And if you could get the Orioles bullpen back to what it was when they won the American League East and when they won the American League regular season, then the Orioles are dangerous if they have an ace. They just need pitching. They need starting pitching. I don't know how hard it is to explain to you guys, or not you guys, Major League Baseball teams, that without pitching, you're nothing. And in baseball, like this year, the two teams in the World Series proved that. They obviously have lethal bats, but they had pitching. The Dodgers won the World Series because their bullpen came together at the right time. The Diamondbacks made the World Series because their bullpen came together at the right time. So if the Orioles get pitching, then they're in at the right time. The Yankees, I mean, their bullpen is scary. I don't know what to do about them. The Red Sox are clearly not making any moves. The Blue Jays, reigning American League champs, fine. And Tampa Bay Rays. Well, do they even have a home? I don't know. But I do think that Alonso's acquisition, Craig Abel, to your point, is going to lead to bigger, better things for the Orioles. This shows that they are serious in signing someone like Alonso. He's a huge veteran bat that's in the middle of the lineup, adds a ton of power. You've got Alonso's used to being on a Mets team that clearly has had underwhelming seasons and knows what it's like to have to bounce back and do well. He knows what it takes to bounce back mentally. And I really like that he's going to just be in this clubhouse with all these young players and help them mentally. He could be a guide and he's a mentor. I mean, and obviously he's a bat. Good defense too at first base. I love this Alonso signing. I actually meant before the show, and I just ran out of time, I wanted to check Pete Alonso's splits. I want to see what Pete Alonso's career numbers are at Camden Yards real quick. I'd have to think that he would rake at Camden Yards. Splits, career. Not that he would have played there too often. Let's see. Baltimore. I don't care about against the. I want to see Camden yards. 263 through 10 games. Hit 5 home runs, 11 ribbies. So in 10 games, Pete Alonso hit 5 home runs with 11 RBIs at Camden yards. That's going to be scary. As for the Boston Red Sox, where are you? I mean, that's my question. And what the hell? We know what the Mets are doing. They're clearing cap space. They want to make a splash. They want to go for somebody big, and they need an ace. They need an ace. But you have blown your pitching. I just don't understand what they're doing outside of clearing cap space. So right now, the Boston Red Sox, they have Garrett Crochet. They have Tanner Houck. They have Brian Bayo. They probably need a true number 2. Walker Buehler's not the same. Their bullpen was fine. They've got depth in the bullpen and pitchers that could go deep. Alex Bregman, we don't know what's going to happen to him. The Red Sox have just been so silent. And again, the Crochet deal was good. I'm just looking at stats from last year for a refresher, which I should have done before the season before this show started, but I ran out of time. Let's see. So starting pitching overall, the Red Sox were top 5 in overall starting pitching. The New York Mets, 18th. Baltimore Orioles, 26th. That was just pitching overall last year. Then you look to the bullpens. Last year, the Red Sox, second best bullpen in baseball. The Mets, 15th in bullpen ERA, and the Orioles, 25th. And now going to the hitting. Last year in OPS. The Red Sox were 9th best in OPS. The Mets, 6th best in OPS. Orioles, 21st. But that's some weird regression. So, more work. The Orioles were terrible. Pitching-wise, they were just absolutely atrocious. The Red Sox just have to get more clutch hitting. I think their pitching, honestly, the only way that they would really be lethal is if the Red Sox got a strong number 2. They don't need an ace. They need a strong number 2. The Red Sox also need some more bats. But they're going to get healthier. The Orioles have a lot more to do, and the Mets have a lot more to do than I think the Red Sox do. The Orioles definitely need an ace. But we'll see what happens at the winter meetings. And then obviously yesterday was the Edwin Diaz news that the Mets lost their closer to the Dodgers, so the Dodgers get stronger. Rumor has it that the Dodgers are trying to make a huge push for Tarek Skubal. Ugh. I mean, come on. This team's a freaking monopoly already. Can they get, if they got Skubal, right now the World Series leaders on the odds for FanDuel, Dodgers plus 270. And then, ready for this? The Dodgers are plus 270. Then it's the Yankees at plus 750. Oh, you have to see these odds. Jesus Christ. I mean, have we seen a drop-off this crazy in odds? Let's go all the way down to the Padres, who are always enticing and always lose. I would love to go to Turkey. Iggy Soler. I know Iggy Soler, Günaydın, if that's what you mean. Anyway. Here are the odds on FanDuel Sportsbook. Major League Baseball 2026. The Dodgers plus 270, and then the Yankees are plus 750. And then it's a drop-off. Phillies 10-1. Phillies extended their manager, Rob Thompson, which I know a lot of Phillies fans were mad about. Phillies fans also said they're mad about Kyle Schwarber re-signing. I don't know. Kyle Schwarber at least can hit dingers. I mean, Kyle Schwarber's been top 5 in the league in home runs for the last few years. Seattle Mariners 12-1. Mets 12-1, which is crazy. Why do we keep pricing the Mets in the top 10? They have no pitching. None. I would put the Blue Jays. How are the Blue Jays 18-1? And the Mets are 12-1. That makes no sense to me. None at all. The Mets have no pitching. You're basically putting in these odds that the Mets are going to add an ace. Is that what you're saying? Stupid. Brewers and Cubs, and then you can't see on the banner here. Padres at the bottom. You know that the Padres are always favored to win their division every freaking year, even if they don't deserve to be. The Cubs always second to them. It's just the way it is. Padres 27-1, always intriguing and always lose. Screw them. Atlanta, there's so many question marks on that team with health. So many. And I know it's hard to repeat, and runner-ups tend to do badly the next year, or at least not make it. But I don't agree with the Toronto Blue Jays being behind the New York Mets until the Mets do something. That's just the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Seattle Mariners at 12-1, pretty enticing. I love the Mariners. I love them almost as much as I love the San Diego Padres, except I hate the Padres because they always freaking lose. But looking at the Mariners, I'm just looking at the depth chart, and I don't remember contracts and whatnot, but their pitching is so strong. Luis Castillo, George Kirby, Logan Gilbert, Bryce Miller, Brian Wu. And remember, the Mariners were without Brian Wu most of the year. Gilbert was hurt a little bit. I love the Mariners. Let's see. Seattle, what was it? They're 10th in OP. Like, their bats definitely got better. Obviously, the Mariners ended up adding to that lineup this year, which helped so much. Cal Raleigh, a huge part of that, of course, with his home run streak. But Randy Arozarena, J-Rod, J.P. Crawford, Jorge Polanco, Luke Raley had a great season. I absolutely love this team. Looking at them from a pitching perspective, Seattle, 9th best in the bullpen. Their ERA overall was 13th, which I think will be better now that they're healthier. So, I don't know. The Mariners are my early pick right now to win the World Series. There's no way Raleigh's hitting 50 home runs next year. You're right. But I'll tell you this, and I know this is going to be against popular belief, but if the Dodgers do end up getting Tarik Skubal, I'm fading it. I'm totally fading it. I'm going to fade his strikeouts. I'm going to fade something. I'm going to find something to fade on Tarik Skubal because if he goes to the Dodgers, I feel like it's just going to be so public. I don't know. I feel like it's something I got to do, but we'll see. Probably have to fade Raleigh homers as well. So rare for a catcher to do what he did and then to have to do it again. Plus how much he played. I wouldn't mind taking it under on Cal Raleigh home runs going into the season once we get those numbers up. I'm really excited to see if the Orioles sign Skubal, A++. They need it. They need a freaking ace. Framber Valdez seems to be out there on the market as well. Seems like the Mets were trying to make a push for Framber Valdez. But we will see. Winter meetings are underway. Very excited to see what else comes out in the news because so far this has been a really fun big splash. 10 more minutes till Coach Young going to come on the show in the next 10 minutes, talk to us all about the NBA and college basketball. I've got some prop queen edges of the day as well. I feel like there was something else I was going to talk about, and now I'm trying to remember. Let's see what graphics I've got. Alonso, fishy. Ooh, right, I know. I had a fishy line in the NBA tonight. And then I don't think I had any propaganda. We do have propaganda for college basketball, maybe. Let me check John Ewing. Oh. Did he just give that out? Here. This is only for was this only for one game? His list was too short. That's weird. I think this got cut off. Sorry, guys. 1 second. Let me just see. Wednesday, most bet on team. Oh, no, they just did one ticket. That's why. NHL betting. Okay, so I'll just go through all of these because there's only one each that BetMGM's been posting today. But I'll just give you all the propaganda. All the most bet on props, sides, totals today in sports, hockey, college basketball, and the association. I also went on a rant yesterday because I don't know how you guys feel in the chat, but I for sure do not feel that the cup is doing anything. Like, I feel like the cup is not bringing in what they hoped it would of an audience. I'm just not any more amused than in years past. And I don't know if you guys agree. Anyway, let's get to propaganda. Okay, so this is the most bet on action over at BetMGM for the NHL tonight. We've got the most bet on team is the Red Wings. Most bet on total, Rangers and Blackhawks under 6. Most bet on player prop, Blake Coleman over 1.5 shots. Most bet anytime goal scorer, Connor Bedard. So if you want to fade the public, then you could take the other side, or you could just stay away from these most bet on sides over at BetMGM in the NHL. College basketball, the most bet team to cover, Purdue, which coach probably won't like because sneak peek to what he's going to talk about tonight. Most bet on money line is Nebraska, and the most bet on total, Wisconsin at Nebraska under 158.5. The association tonight, we've got the most bet on team to cover, Suns plus 14.5, because it is the largest spread of the 2 games on the slate tonight. These people are crazy. You guys know how I feel. When something happens in the first matchup, it likely doesn't happen again. This is essentially a fishy line, but not my fishy line of the day, but it kind of is. The Suns and the Thunder played on November 28th. That was just like last week. And yet the Suns kept it a close game. It was like I had the score. It was like a 3 or 4 point game. Now I don't know where I put that. Where did I put this score? 123-119. 123-119 was the final score of the time these two played on November 28th. And if you think that the book is that dumb that they're going to then a week later make a double-digit spread again, they're not dumb. It's plus 14.5 for a reason, guys. I didn't see an update on Devin Booker. I saw he was questionable. If you guys end up seeing an update, let me know. I was handicapping the game as if he was playing tonight. But it does say here, according to Dwayne Rankin 4 hours ago, Devin Booker's right groin strain, he wasn't on the court when the Suns shoot-around opened to the media. He'd usually be getting shots up during shoot-around open for the media if he was playing. He's still questionable for tonight. Booker later came out and started doing these drills. So, not sure yet if Devin Booker is in or out, but I'm handicapping it as if he's in, and obviously if he's out. But again, I am not taking points with Phoenix. Because whether he's in or out, what's Devin Booker moving the line to 13.5? Like, if he's out, 15.5? Like, he's worth, what, 1-2 points? So, no. I'm not taking a Phoenix Suns team when they just played a close game a week ago and the book still makes it a double-digit dog. Most bet on underdog, of course, 7-1 Phoenix Suns. Everyone wants the big payout in a cup game. And yeah, that's just silly. Most bet on total, Suns Thunder over. Yeah, of course, because when nope, sorry, I'm thinking the other thing. That's interesting, actually. That's the most bet on total. I would have thought that the Spurs-Lakers game would have been the most bet on over tonight, solely because there's no Wemby and the Spurs are small and have no one to defend against the Lakers. So I would have thought that was the most bet on over. Luka under points, rebounds, and assists. That's interesting because the last game that the Spurs and Lakers played, LeBron didn't play. Luka went off. So now people are just assuming that because LeBron is in, Luka won't go off. But that's not the case. I'm going to share my screen with you guys, and we're going to go to props.cash because I'm going to show you guys exactly why that is so silly of a thought process. I was looking at the numbers today on props.cash with Luka and LeBron. Look at this. It's already up on my screen. Luka with LeBron, PRA, over in all but one game. Luka points with LeBron, over in all but one game. Rebounds, over in 4 out of 6. Assists, over in 4 out of 6. So Luka still goes off with LeBron. Fading Luka because LeBron's back in. The only reason that I would fade Luka at all tonight is because he went off in the first game. And obviously he's got inflated numbers. But the truth is, I can't fade Luka Doncic. It's impossible. There's no way. I'm not doing it. So I won't be fading Luka tonight. but I'm certainly not betting on him either. And that really doesn't have as much to do with LeBron as it has to do with Luka going off in the first game. He just had a baby. He's going off. I mean, you could fade the public. Go have fun. Fade the public. Be my guest. I've got a fishy line today. And then by the time we're done with that, we should be able to get to coach. The fishy line is for a prop, so it's fishy line. Outside of the fact, the fishy line could potentially be, sorry, my brother just landed back in New York. Outside of the fact that the 14.5 point spread could be kind of a fishy line because the public's all over the Suns and there's just no way. I mean, I'm not saying no way, but Royce O'Neal, this number was very fishy to me at 4.5. When I was looking at the numbers, at first I was thinking, oh, I would love to bet this over, except I don't understand why the number's not 5.5. He just had 7 rebounds in the last matchup between these two. Isaiah Hartenstein's out. He was out last game too. So it's benefiting power forwards with the Thunder not having enough size to defend against an opposing center and power forward like a Royce O'Neal. That's 3 straight games. Look at this. I have the, let me see where the screenshot is of Royce O'Neal. 3 straight games that Royce O'Neal's had at least 5 rebounds in OKC. The Thunder have allowed 63% of power forwards to cash their rebound prop over in the last 5 games with Hartenstein out. So it just makes no sense to me why 4.5 is the number. And I know it was juiced to -135. It just feels very low and very fishy. It should probably be a 5.5. And since it went over in the last game, I worry. I told you guys, I always worry if it went over the first game and not the second. Did you see the rookie queen put up a 30-point triple-double? I love that we found him. I love that we found Queen, like 3-4 weeks ago already? It was his first game without Zion Williamson, and we took him, and he went off. And ever since. I'm going to actually say that I discovered Alperen Sengun, and now I found Queen. I'm just like, I feel like I should get ownership over those two. As soon as I found Alperen Sengun, he was called Mini Joker. Like weeks later. We made so much money off Alperen Sengun. That was 2 years ago. We made money off Alperen Sengun overs, and that lasted for about 3 months. 2 years ago, we also made money off Desmond Bane over 3s because it was 1.5 for so long. We ended up calling him Mean Hakeem. We called him Babe instead of Bane because he was cashing 3s. Now his number's around 2.5. He's been struggling a little bit more. This year, we have to find a trend. And I guess it's Queen. But the book's caught on to Queen already. The book's already caught on. I'm excited for these games tonight. I made a prize picks lineup, and I'll give that out at the end of the show. Again, the prize picks lineup is combining the 3 Royal locks that I have today and equaling to a payout of $1,500. So stay tuned to see what the prize picks lineup is for tonight. I'm in this weird in between right now of the show because Coach is supposed to come on in a couple of minutes. And I'm like, if I start something, then we might not be able to finish it because Coach is coming on in a couple of minutes. I also, at the end of the show, have an announcement for something that I am going to be. You think the Suns have a chance? No, I do not. I do not. Even with Devin Booker. Why is this line 14.5? If they just had a chance last week, keeping it a very close game. What was it? Where did I say 4-point game? 123, 119. And now the spread's 14.5 again, just a short amount of time later. No. OKC at home. I guess it's do they care to win the cup? Maybe. It's kind of cool to say that you won the NBA Finals and then you go on to win the cup right after. So much for a post-finals hangover. I guess that's nice when you have a young team. SGA wants people to see he's MVP still. And he's home. When SGA's home, he's crazy. Let's look up SGA's stats at home real quick on props.cash. Okay, you guys are seeing it. SGA at home this year. That's just points. Lots of rebound overs at home. Assists are okay. PRA. Look at that. Because of the rebounding. I think because of the rebounding is why you're getting these numbers on SGA to be so good at home. Look at the head-to-head. 2 of 3 went over against Phoenix. 4 of 5 went over against Phoenix. So I think those are pretty intriguing stats on SGA. Now, I very rarely like to bet the Stars. He went over in the last game, which always scares me. But you can't fade SGA at home. You can only fade SGA on the road. And we're still waiting to hear about freaking Devin Booker. That's the thing that annoys me so much about this league. And no, Lewis, I've never been to the winter meetings, but I would love to go. But I want to go with like a purpose and not just like running around like trying to find people for no reason. Here's what I hate about the NBA. We're just sitting here trying to cap the games. And then these freaking teams, it's not even like they wait for an hour before. We literally were minutes before the Knicks game last night before they announced that Cat was in. Like, we're not even talking about OG Anunoby. We're not talking about Jalen Johnson. We're talking about the star players on the team that make a huge impact. Huge. How the hell am I supposed to handicap a game if I don't know if Devin Booker's in? Honestly, because they just played recently, I don't care. I still capped it anyway. But the league should have, and I know that it's not about us per se, but the other team has to know too. Like, what are you preparing for? At some point, it's just a complete unfair disadvantage for us to not know these things. No other team, no other sport do we not know that a player is really playing until 3 minutes before. We typically have at least an hour or two. Yes, I'm bothered handicapping the NBA. Oh, why bother? Craig Abel said. Because it's a Wednesday and there's nothing else for me to do. I don't handicap college sports. I don't handicap hockey. I don't handicap hockey. So I do the NBA. I like it. It's a beatable market for props. It's a great market to bet props. I agree. It should be an hour before the game that we have to know who's in and who's out. And they just don't tell us anything anymore. Even my friends who love the NBA, they're annoyed with the league. I'm curious if Coach is annoyed with the league, actually. I'm very curious to hear his thoughts on this because, he's tuning in now. Very excited for this. I'm just pissed off. And yesterday pissed me off even more. Oh. I know. He was only a few minutes late. But I have to give Coach some credit today. So Coach reached out to me today, and he said, Ariel, if you need me to come on, I can. And I said, that's so sweet. Thank you. Please do. AOD is here. AOD is here. Let's go. Coach James Young, he's back. How are you?
Ariel, it's been a minute. I listen, audience guys. I owe you guys an apology. I've been crazy busy training, coaching. They got me doing a 6th, 7th grade team. They pulled me out of retirement. Oh my God! Folks, going from college to 6th, 7th grade basketball is like going from like a Ferrari to like a Prius, a broke down Prius. But I love my kids. I love them to death. Hopefully they're not listening. If you're listening, you're not allowed to gamble until you're 21.
Listen. Legally, they can't.
No, legally, they can. They just can't bet. Well, their parents can. But that's a story for another day. Great to be on with you. Hope you had a great vacation, and it's good to be back.
Coach, I'm really pissed off at your league, though. Like, I can't. I'm so done. It makes me so angry. Last night, I'm trying to handicap the Knicks game. And guess who can't handicap the Knicks game? Me. Because Karl Anthony Towns wasn't announced in until 3 minutes before the game. I got the notification at 7:57 for an 8 o'clock game. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they're going to have to do something about Ariel in regards to making sure that they get the information about players. Listen, guys, I'm going to tell you the best thing I do is, Underdog does a good job of keeping you up to date. I literally go 30 minutes past the hour. The NBA's got to give out new injury reports. So I always look randomly during the day. And it was interesting because you could see the line moving for New York, moving in New York's favor. Not only because of that, but also Emmanuel quickly didn't play last night for Toronto. So the NBA's got to do a better job if they want to talk about being partners. And I think, you can go into the Chauncey Billups thing, and there's so many things that are going on with the league, Terry Rozier, that they have to find a way to do a better job of being true partners with the sports gambling community, meaning the companies, in regard to having the right information at hand. But when you look at someone like the Knicks, I'll just tell you right now, because I'm a Knicks fan, guys, follow Ian Begley, a good friend of mine who does SNY. I've been on the putback with him. Make sure you follow guys like Ian Begley, or another guy I know, Steph Bondi from the Daily News. They're pretty piped in. Try to find that lead reporter for the organization, because generally they'll tip you off beforehand and I think someone's going to play or not.
Your Knicks did have a nice little comeback last night against those Raptors. Looks like they might try to make a statement and win that NBA Cup. It'll be tough to do if you got to face OKC. However, how you feeling about those Knicks?
Listen, they put Josh Hart into the starting lineup, but I think that's completely changed everything. It's interesting. I was listening to, and I don't know how much you guys have been watching. I've been very much impressed with the pre- and post-game national coverage, not including ESPN. I think ESPN is more of I don't want to call it a sitcom, but more of like a comedic, kind of way, make you laugh. Like the Amazon guys are really fucking good. Like I think it was John Wall last night. I know Blake Griffin's done stuff. Dirk's done stuff. I know Steve Nash a little bit. Steve's a basketball savant. I like what they kind of talked about. And I think it was Udonis Haslem said, what you did was you put Hart into the starting lineup. You put Mitchell Robinson on the bench. And Hart may be the second best offensive rebounder for the team besides Mitchell Robinson. So now you put Hart in, who I think led the league in three-point shooting in the month of November, for a guy that really is a great shooter. And now you have Bridges and OG. You space it with shooters, and then you have Cat. So now Brunson, who's one of the best guys getting into the lane and scoring, can get into his sweet spot without Mitchell Robinson being in the dunk spot. So I think the Knicks are playing better. Their defense is pretty good. It'll be a really good matchup with them in Orlando coming up. Remember last time the Knicks beat Orlando 106-100. That's the game that Von Wagner got injured. Hopefully, thank goodness it's not overly serious. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. But it should be a competitive game between the two. I'll tell you right now, if you're looking at anything, look under. Jamal Mosley will grind that game down to a halt.
I agree with what Craig Abel's saying. I said this last night. The NBA Cup has no value. I mean, I'm not saying they should guarantee a playoff spot by any means. They tried to do it to get more engagement early on in the season for the NBA, and yet I don't feel more engaged because of the Cup. How about you?
See, I'm going to go completely different angle as a coach. I love the NBA Cup. And I love the NBA Cup if you want to peel it back and look at young teams. Do you guys remember a couple of years ago in the NBA Cup? What team made the finals? The Lakers? Who was the other team? Indiana. An Indiana team hadn't done anything that springboarded them to a playoff run. You look at this year, I thought it was good for Toronto to go into to try as they try to make the playoffs. I think it's good for Orlando to play in these situations when they haven't gone past the first round. I think it's good for San Antonio, a team that has not made the playoffs, to put them in a playoff-like atmosphere. It may not drive eyeballs to the seat, but it's important for coaches and for the Knicks, for Mike Brown as a first year, when you're trying to establish either a new culture or a winning culture, getting to the knockout round where you're almost in Game 7 situations, I think is a little bit better than people think.
Okay. I mean, I like it for the players that are young, gets you some good experience. It also gets you some cash if you end up winning it all. I'm just saying from fan perspective, meh.
I think here's the thing. I don't think it would matter if it was a playoff spot whatever, you get 5 home games instead of 7 in a round series. I don't think any of that's going to matter, Ariel. I'm going to be honest with you. Because number one, you could, what happens if you win the NBA Cup and you go on a 15-game losing streak? Now, if you're the 13th seed, you're going to bump some team out that could get in the playoffs. So I'll push back on that.
No, I agree.
I also think it's hard to sell the NBA before Christmas. It's just hard. That's why the NBA Cup is now. They don't need to do it in March and April because football is done. The only good thing about the NBA Cup is they play the games on Tuesdays and Fridays because they're staying away from the NFL.
Smart.
But it's still, at the end of the day, it's still the basketball guys like me, I love it. For people that are not completely all into basketball, like I'm a fucking Jet fan. We've been done since, I don't know, kickoff of the Steeler game, which I was inebriated at. So to me, it's great for me. I love it. But I can understand how people may not be, that are not all basketball people, not like completely dived into it.
Well, let's dive into it anyway tonight, Coach. You've got a bunch of plays for tonight's slate, starting with the Suns team total under 104.5. How come you're fading them? And is this with or without Devin Booker, or it doesn't matter?
Doesn't matter. Listen, if you look at it, the Suns have gone over this in 5 out of the last 7 games. The only time they went under this was against Houston. Why bring up Houston? I think Houston is probably as good as defensively as Oklahoma City. An Oklahoma City team that is, I think, the top defense in the NBA. Let me jump to Dylan Brooks because they go hand in hand. Dylan Brooks over 18.5 points. I think over 4 of his last 5 games, including a 19-point performance and a 123-119 loss to the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think Oklahoma City ratchets it up a little bit. Remember, that was one of the first games that J-Dub was back in the lineup. I think Dylan Brooks gets himself into foul trouble. Dylan Brooks under 18.5 points.
Ooh, okay, we're on the same side there. I also love Dylan Brooks tonight to go under his points. Lakers minus 7.5. How come you're willing to lay the hefty number?
All right, so here's the way I look at it. No Wemby tonight, right? They played earlier in the season. It was a 2-point Laker win. Go look at the box score. Wemby played. LeBron didn't play. Austin Reeves also didn't play. I think the Lakers are in a good role and spot right now. And I'm going to tell you why. I think LeBron ending that, double-digit point streak was the best fucking thing to happen to that team. Because LeBron doesn't have to be that guy anymore. He doesn't have to get you 25, 30 night, take 20 shots. He doesn't need that. Why? No offense. Luka is the guy now. When he's on, Austin Reeves can be a 20, 25 point a game guy. Rui Hachimura can knock down threes. And DeAndre Ayton has looked the best he's looked in a couple of years. So LeBron can take what I call the Cooper Flag approach, which is be the chameleon, right? That game in which he lost the double-digit streak, had a chance to get it, kick it to Rui for a 3, game winner. But then a couple of days later, Austin Reeves goes 5 for 16, and LeBron gave you 27. So I think that's what's good about the Lakers right now is I think they're more offensively diverse, and LeBron can kind of pick his spots a little bit on what he wants to do. Now to the prop. Dylan Harper over 3.5 assists. Over the last 4 games, all 4 games were without Wemby. And if you look at the fact that De'Aaron Fox is doing a ton of scoring, they need someone that's going to facilitate and kind of get people shots. Dylan Harper, the rookie out of Rutgers, over 3.5 assists tonight.
Oh, the rookie out of Rutgers. You had to throw that out there, Mr. Jersey boy. I see what you're doing here. Speaking of college, New Mexico plus 9.5. How come?
Listen, when you think about New Mexico and Richard Pitino, you think about the pit where they play at, which is, if I'm not mistaken, I think the pit's like almost like mile high. It's high elevation. And they struggle on the road, but they played pretty good basketball. I think they beat Santa Clara by like 20-some-odd points. And I know VCU is pretty good. The Siegel Center is a rocking little small arena in downtown Richmond. I've been there for games. I just think 9.5 is a lot. That's 3 possessions. It's a lot to a Richard Pitino team that's pretty good defensively and has the offensive firepower to keep the game close. Give me the Lobos plus 9.5 tonight.
I hate to break it to you, Purdue minus 20.5 is the most bet on spread tonight in college basketball. So why is it okay to not have to fade the public?
Listen, it's very simple. I'm taking Purdue because 2 reasons. Number one, you had Minnesota beat Indiana at home when Indiana was ranked. So now this is the next game. So now you get let down spot after winning a home game versus a top 25 team. Versus a team that got their fucking doors blown off. I mean, Iowa State kicked their ass, kicked them in the nuts, took their lunch money, took their girl, took their mama, took the keys, and took the pension plan. They took everything from Matt Painter's team. So now you got to come back to West Lafayette, which is a really good place to play, right? And you're going to not think that this team who had Fletcher Loyer couldn't fucking draw water if he was on the goddamn Titanic shooting the ball. Braden Smith, the top point guard in the country, I think had 6 or 7 turnovers. Kaufman Wren wasn't effective. And a Purdue team that's one of maybe the best, one of the 3 or 5 best offensive teams in the country, having 58 points. You really think this is not going to be a blowout spot tonight? I'll lay the points with the Boilermakers.
Oh, boy. Okay. Just Rodriguez.
Right, so the whole public is going against me. They all think Purdue is going to cover or not cover.
They think Purdue is going to cover.
Yeah, well, I usually like to fade the public a lot of times. But for me as a coach, I look at that as like they're going to be ready to fucking play tonight.
You think Luka's going to be ready to effing play? Because just Rodriguez thinks he likes a triple-double.
You know what the funny thing is? I think Luka's going to score. I'm going to go rebounds, assists with LeBron.
Oh, with LeBron. Okay, because King K said he liked Luka rebounds, but you like LeBron over. I mean, that's kind of been the way to play it this year. Has been Luka does a lot of the scoring and, of course, the assists, but LeBron mostly assists and rebounds for him.
And I think LeBron is also working his way back, right? And I think you got to like pick your spots. The reason why you could sit there and look at Luka from his scoring is De'Aaron Fox and Harper or Devin Vassell.
Mm-hmm.
None of the 3 are strong defenders. And if Luka gets into the lane, the premier shot blocker in the league is Wemby, and he's not playing. So that's why I think Luka should be able to go off in his scoring tonight.
With no Wemby, how is that going to impact the Spurs defense?
Man, I don't even know if fucking Luke Cornett. Oh my God, I can't believe I just making Luke Cornett being a difference maker. I don't know if Luke Cornett's playing on either. I think he was questionable at some point earlier today. So to me, they have no interior defense.
I know that's the problem.
You know, so and that's why I think it's going to be a layup line. And that'll be interesting. And I think the other thing to look at is if you want to look at double market, the guy to look at is if no Luke Cornett. Look at what DeAndre Ayton may be able to do as a double threat because Luke Cornett will step out and shoot the ball from 3. As a step out 5, he's not as much in the dunk spot as much. So I think that's another play to look at. Maybe look at Ayton for possibly a double.
Coach, you're the absolute best. We missed you on the show. Thanks as always for hopping on with us. We've got to do it again soon. Can you tell everyone about your new show, by the way? I know it's not that new anymore.
Yeah, so I have pro basketball today. Which I record on Mondays. You'll see it Monday night, Tuesday morning on Spotify, and where you get your Apple Podcasts. It'll show 4:30 p.m. on Tuesday on Sports Grid, and then college basketball today, which I was recording right now, which will be on air 2:30 on Friday, and you'll get it obviously overnight wherever you get your podcast. It's a little bit different take. It's really not.
Do you
it's
curse
not
or no?
No cursing. Not allowed because they put it on air. But it's no gambling talk. It's just me talking basketball, talking through what I see, working on some guests. You know, probably have working on trying to get Kevin Willard on I do know that Mark Campbell, my good friend, the head women's coach at TCU, has agreed to come on. Tim Capstraw, radio voice of Nets, may come on. Stan Van Gundy, who coached my college, coaching college, is going to come on eventually. John Fanta, Jeff Goodman. So we'll start to get guests as we get into the new year. But if you want a little bit of a different take of me, just me talking basketball from like a coach's lens of what I see, what's going on in the sport, it'll be a good listen. 25 minutes, in and out, quick.
We love it. That's such a great list of people. You've got so many connections. You are the best, Coach. Thanks so much. Good luck tonight.
Appreciate you guys. See you soon.
Time for the Prep Queen edges of the day in the NBA. Starting with the first game of the night, we've got the Suns and the Thunder. So again, we are going to just pretend that Devin Booker's in, but even if he's out, a lot of these I don't mind either. Dylan Brooks under 18.5 points. I said this was something I agreed with Coach on. He's on the same prop. Brooks put up 19 against the best defense in the NBA in the last game these two played on November 28th. He's only averaging about 15 points per game against the Thunder in his career, and Brooks has gone under 18.5 points in 5 of 6 games against OKC, 3 of 5 when at home, when they're in OKC. Not only is the Thunder the best defense in the NBA, they're the best at defending small forwards, hence Dylan Brooks. Only 33% of small forwards have gone over their points prop this year when facing the Thunder. And I also, I love fading what happened in the first game. And that's what we're going to do here. Dylan Brooks under 18.5 points. Ryan Dunn over 10.5 points plus rebounds. Dunn didn't play in the last game against the Thunder. However, he's averaging just under 14 points plus rebounds in 2 of his last 3 games against the Thunder. Below, I'm going to show you right now the numbers of Booker. No, hold on. Let me get you. Let me see if I can find the Dylan Brooks numbers. I have so many props.cash snapshots. Okay, that's number 1. Okay. So these are the numbers for Ryan Dunn when they lose. And obviously I care about that because they are a 14.5 point dog. But Ryan Dunn, remember, I like his over. Over 10.5 points plus rebounds. So in losses, because again, if you're losing by double digits, you could put someone like Ryan Dunn in and his minutes could go up. But also here are his numbers with Devin Booker and without, oh my God, what's his name? Isaiah Livers. So he has raped. We're going to go over here on Ryan Dunn, 10.5 rebounds, plus points plus rebounds. That's coach's picks. Jalen Williams under 5.5 assists. Williams had just 8 assists against Phoenix on November 28th, and yet his history against the Suns, very bad. Again, I'll add that graphic in. Look at the history against the Suns. Whew. So that was pretty much unconventional for the assists. He's averaging just under 4 assists, 3.7 assists in these matchups. Whether Williams is a guard or forward, 70% of shooting guards and forwards have gone under their assist prop against the Suns in the last 10 games. And lastly, Lou Dort over 7.5 points. He only put up 7 in the last game, but if you look at his history against the Suns, he's gone over in 4 of the last 5 home games without Isaiah Joe. So we're going to go with the over there on Lou Dort. The late game tonight, Spurs, Lakers. Spurs are without their center, Victor Wembanyama. I feel like I'm getting some updates for NBA. Nothing yet. These are all the injury updates for tomorrow, to which we don't care because football's on. Sorry, NBA. Keldon Johnson over 18.5 points, rebounds, and assists at even money. So if you compare the games with and without Wemby this year for Keldon Johnson, hold on, let me just add the graphics so you could see. You're going to see the difference. I'm just such a visual learner, so I'm here to help. That's Keldon Johnson without. Keldon Johnson with. This is Keldon Johnson with Victor Wembanyama this year. And this is Keldon Johnson without Victor Wembanyama this year. It's a big difference. Johnson's usage rate goes up from 17 to 21 without Wemby. He's averaging 24.5 PRA. He's the second leading rebounder on the team because the rest of this team plays no defense. Johnson was also not as much of a factor in the first matchup, putting up just 12 points, 1 rebound, and 1 assist. That game was November 5th. That game was with Wemby, though. So Keldon Johnson should be utilized more in LA tonight. 7 of the last 8 small forwards to face the Lakers went over their PRA prop. So we are going over Keldon Johnson tonight. Harrison Barnes under 12.5 points. Again, with the Spurs really having no defense and Wemby being out, Barnes is going to have to take on as much of a defensive role as he possibly can. He put up 14 last game with Wemby, but now all the attention of the Lakers bigs is going to go towards Barnes, who's the only other decent defender on this team. And on the road without Wemby, his points prop has pretty much gone over. It's pretty much gone under on the road without Wemby. It's a lot of red. He's averaging 11.5 points a game. So more defense, less points for Harrison Barnes tonight against the Lakers. Then this trend with Austin Reeves. Shout out to my guy Hakeem because he knows what I like. And he's like, I know you're going to love this trend. And it was confirmed by props.cash. I looked it up myself. Austin Reeves assists. Hold on. Austin Reeves assists with Luka and with LeBron. Yeah. 4 and under. And his prop's 4.5, Austin Reeves. He's 0 for 6. 60% of shooting guards have gone under their assist prop against the Spurs this year. He's averaging, Austin Reeves, 3 assists per game with Luka and with LeBron. So Austin Reeves under his assists is definitely something that stood out to me. Yeah, see, I don't understand. This one up on Prize Picks as well. This is crazy. The only thing I could think of, is that Booker's not playing. Like, that would be the only thing that I think of. Like, maybe Devin Booker's out, and that's why I went to 20.5. Because someone has to score. That would be my only thought. But I'm not backing an over of a player that already went over in the last game. That sucks, though. Again, that's why the NBA is so hard. If Devin Booker's out, that does change things a little bit. And that's why we have to wait for injury reports, which is impossible because you can't beat lines if you're waiting for injury reports. Anyway, no one cares about my rants. Let's go to Royal Luck. I am scared now. Oh, nope, that is the Prize Picks lineup. I'm scared now. But Dillon Brooks under 18.5 points. Again, he put up 19 against the Thunder the last time that they played, and that was pretty recently, back on November 28th. He's only averaging about 15 points a game against the Thunder. He's gone under this in 5 of 8 games when playing against OKC. 3 of 5 in OKC, he went under. 33% of small forwards have gone under their props this year. So I would look at the under. But we can... here, we can take a quick look at props.cash real quick. You know, I'll go through the rest of this first, and then we could go to Dillon Brooks with and without Devin Booker. The other bet of the day that I like is Keldon Johnson. Keldon Johnson to go over 18.5 PRA at even money. You saw the splits before with and without Wemby. It's a big difference. He's gone over in every game without Wemby except one. His usage rate goes up from 17 to 21 without Wemby, averaging 24.5 PRA. Second leading rebounder on the team. He's pretty much going to have to do everything from that standpoint. And that game was with Wemby, the last one, where he only put up 12 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. So without him, he should get more playing time. And lastly, that Austin Reeves under assist prop. The trend of over 0 for 6 with Luka and LeBron in of going under 4.5. We should just get ahead of that. Booker is out. That makes sense for Dillon Brooks' number to go up. So let's take a look at props.cash real quick and just see how we should pivot, if at all. I mean, I already put the Prize Picks lineup in, so that's screwed if we're not going to like that. I got 19.5. But let me just share my screen. Let's go to props.cash real quick. and we will see exactly how to play if Dylan Brooks is a viable option still for that under or not without. Okay, we're on it. Brooks. The problem is, I think I looked this up earlier, and there was only like 2 games this year, I think, that Devin Booker was out. Yeah. Split. 1-1. And then it didn't matter the last 10 games because Dylan Brooks didn't play with Devin Booker. So it's just hard because there's only a 2-game sample size for for PRA at least. Points still 1-1, rebounds 1-1, assists both went over. So take with that what you want. I think this number got adjusted way too much for Dylan Brooks. It's not like it's Luka without LeBron or vice versa. I mean, we're talking about Dylan Brooks against the best defense in the NBA. So whatever, I'm still going to fade Dylan Brooks tonight and take his under. This is my Prize Picks lineup for tonight. Dylan Brooks under his points. Austin Reeves under assists. Well, sorry. Take that out. I'll get in trouble from Prize Picks. Dylan Brooks, less than 19.5 points. Austin Reeves, less than 4.5 assists. Keldon Johnson, more than 16.5 PRA. $250 makes you $1,500. Hope you guys make some money tonight. Good luck to all of your bets. We will be back tomorrow. We will be talking Thursday night football, give a little preview of the NFL Week 15 slate, get a little basketball in there, a little hockey maybe. We've got people, we got sports, we've got to make money. And I'm debuting the Prop Queen betting guide. I was going to do it today, but I think tomorrow for football it might be better. So stay tuned. It's going to be a free prop betting guide. It's for the people that you love that may not know too much about betting, but kind of want to know. That's who it's for. It's not for like making money or learning how to make money. It's more informative of what the hell prop betting and betting in general is. So you'll be able to get that. Look at my socials. You could get the guide. I'm sending it out on Instagram. So definitely go check. You'll see it on Instagram. I'll show you guys on X and we'll get it sent out from there. Till then, good luck to all of your bets tonight. I will see you all tomorrow.